Hello, Facebook. I want to first start by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers I know out there, even the ones I don't know. Happy Mother's Day. It's a great thing to be a mother. I wouldn't be here without a mother. You wouldn't either. Make this really short and sweet. I used to go through my cell phone first thing in the morning on one of these type days, and I would individually send out a Mother's Day greeting to everybody in my phone that was a mother that I could get to during the course of a 24-hour day. But I couldn't do that because my phone book has expanded exponentially. I don't know. But at any rate, I want to share a couple of things with you, and I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible. And hopefully it'll be something that'll be beneficial to you. Something to think about, I know that. For you, those of you out there that think, because some people don't. Some people let some other people do the thinking for them. First thing I want to touch on is that COVID-19 thing. You know, the states are opening back up, city by city within the states. And for some reason, you know, there's some question out there. People are debating about whether COVID-19 is man-made or whether, you know, it's a natural, come by natural order or whatever. But I'm just telling you, those people who are unaware, uninformed, and going about your life recklessly. COVID-19 is real, okay? Well, it don't matter whether it was man-made or whatever. It's here, okay? And the possibilities of you catching it is pretty high when we deal in crowds of people that's been untested. You know, my personal opinion is that maybe it was manufactured, but it don't matter. Manufactured or a natural order. If it's at your doorstep, you have to deal with it, and you have to deal with it accordingly. And this could be a good wake-up call. This COVID-19 could be a good wake-up call to all of us, especially of African American and Latin descent, to get our health lives together and actually stay on top of some of the stuff Dr. Sebi introduced to the world about natural ingredients that actually take care of the body and take care of anything that may come in that's foreign to the body. So we probably need to read a little bit more and do a little bit more research without the aid of Google. Okay, do some real concrete research because Google sometimes has lies on it too. Okay, I just want to touch on too that, you know, just you don't have to take my word for it. Sooner or later it'll come out. I may be dead and gone when the truth comes out. But I'm just telling you right now, we living in a time we're being played like a guitar, for real. You know, think about this. For weeks we speculated. Nobody within the Trump administration was wearing masks and this and that, and they you know, they seem to not be getting sick and this and that. As soon as that video came out, think about this. As soon as that video came out, well, when they were setting up that press conference and that guy looked over and told the other guy, hey, we've been vaccinated anyway, you know, as soon as that came out, all of a sudden, 3 people on his staff or within that administration come down with COVID-19. How convenient. Right, and this is to keep you to thinking that they don't have something that we don't. They do have something that we don't, because I'm telling you, that's, you know, if we go from the perspective that it was man-made in a laboratory, that it was altered in a laboratory and released. Trust me, they didn't release it without having something that could deal with it for those people on the top upper level. They're not gonna actually do something that careless and put themselves in jeopardy. I'm just telling you, there is something that exists that can take care of it. They won't, you know, it'll never be revealed to us until some whistleblower some years later come out and speak about it. But that's, that's something that'll have to happen later on down the road. I'm just saying, as these states open up, be careful. Be careful. I don't have to tell you to practice social distancing and this and that. I'm just saying be smart about whatever you do. Be smart about whatever you do, and be smart about who you come in contact with, because it is real. It is real. This is not a fake. It's real. People are dying from it, and that's that. Go to the hospital and just hang around the hospital, and you'll see the distress on the nurses and the CNAs and the doctors' faces, trying to save people, because they actually, unlike the police department, are actually doing what they swore to do. They're trying to save people's lives, and this thing is weighing heavy on a lot of those people. The hours worked, the despair when they don't save them, and they walk away from a dead patient that they really was trying to save, and they discouraged because there's a lot of unknowns, because the people that created it only know really how to deal with it, and the doctors at our level where we would go to the hospital, they still doing trial and error at that stage, and they doing their best, and sometimes their best just don't seem to be good enough, and that's one thing that nobody deals with well, and that's failure and repeated failure. It's not a fun thing to fail repeatedly. I'm sure they'll be successful at one point, but look how many lives they go through, and look how many faces they look down in as life leaves their body, and they have to remember that. They go to bed and they remember those people. I'm gonna move on to the police department and our news. Let's look at the news first. Let me go into the news, right? A few days ago, we had Sean Reed, young man, Air Force, in the Air Force, and came home, and for one reason or another, he got into an altercation with the police department, and the police department conveniently murdered him. Okay, I'm not gonna bite my tongue. They conveniently murdered him, as they do many black men. But this is what pisses me off about the whole thing, because our news stations, right? Our news stations play a part in this, and this is why really, Channel 8 is supposed to be owned by a black guy, but we're not reflected in, outside of Ashley Brown, and one or two more people, we're not reflected in the news. That's another story. But anyway, the news, okay? Sean Reed was murdered by the police, right? And they trying to objectively put it out there and say, well, we're not going to say he was murdered. We're going to put it out there and we'll let the prosecutor decide, okay? Well, that is the natural order or process, right? But let's be realistic about how this thing is being played out, to show you just how the news creates a one-sided view, right? Sean Reed's case has been put out there on several occasions. And the way that they put it out there is so you can have some balance, supposedly, where you can see where the police may have been in the right, okay? But at the same time, there was another story that they failed to even address, right? A day or two after Sean Reed was murdered, there were two police officers that were arrested here, IMPD, right? One of them for doing something that many IMPD guys do, beat up his wife, criminal confinement and all this other stuff, right? And a lot of times they don't get punished for it because the wives end up dropping the cases because, this guy's the breadwinner and this and that. That still goes on today, but that happens. The police department has gotten very, very aggressive, and not just here. If you look at the stories across America, the police department has been out of control for several years, okay? I did a video a while ago, and I said, that if you really, really want to view the police department for what they are, you have to look at back when NWA made the song Fuck the Police, right? Here it is, some kids make a song called Fuck the Police. It's not like that's the song that, you know, you want to go to the booth and make every day. Nobody, why did they make that? Because apparently the police was doing something, right? But nobody really cared to investigate why these kids are making a song like that, right? You were only frustrated because they said a cuss word in the song, and then you wanted to ban them from the radio instead of investigate the police, right? Which was actually the problem. But anyway, the news failed on every channel, 4, 6, 8, and Fox. You know, even the garbage can didn't. Fox News, the garbage can didn't. They the garbage can of the news industry. But anyway, they didn't even entertain the story, right? It was a subtitle underneath on the news on Channel 8. On Channel 6, they kind of glossed it. And then on Channel 4, they almost didn't recognize it. And Fox was Fox, okay? Now, I did notice some things about that Sean Reed, and I will be reaching out to some people to get some information over to whoever the family hires as an attorney, and just to make sure, because sometimes the most obvious things can be missed, and there's something that's really, really obvious that points to a tampering with evidence and points to them falsifying information and lying after the murder. Okay, they murdered the guy and then they lied. I have some information, I'm passing it on. Only 1 or 2 other people know about it because I'm not going to make it public right now because I don't want the information to get into the attorney's hands for the FOP and then they use it to break it down before they ever get hit with it. But there is some information out there that brings a serious question to everything and I like Randy Taylor, okay? I know the guy, like him. But Randy is in a position that he has to take the information that's fed to him. The information that's fed to him is a total lie, okay? And it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. And then, you know, to even make matters worse, you had this coward who didn't know that the phone was on, right? He didn't know that Facebook was still running, this coward that talked about a closed casket. You know, I'm almost willing to bet that coward won't, if they gave him $1 million, that coward wouldn't come on TV and say, I'm the one that said it, because he's a coward. He's a coward with a badge. He's a faggot, okay? From my mouth to you, faggot. You're a faggot. I just want you to know that. You know, that's how I feel about you. And you know, the day that you catch yours, I'm gonna sing and play happy songs, brother, because that was some rank stuff. You know, that was really rank. I just want you to know how I feel, man. But anyway, in the coming days, be aware that there's going to be some things that's happening that they are going to try to shift, right? You got a police that comes out to the protest and he fires a weapon or something. I wasn't there, but that's what Minister Jabu or somebody said, that somebody fired a weapon, you know, and you have those guys that sent out there to do that type stuff, right? To see if we bring in weapons, or the guys that's protesting, to see if you guys are bringing weapons out there so they can have a mass shooting, okay? I appreciate the girl, I forget her name, from Black Lives Matter, that has stood and dealt with this thing from a heady position. Do your thing, girl. Do your thing. Look, it's Mother's Day and I don't want to take away from it, but I just had to get some information out there and how I felt. All the mothers in the world, except the mother of that punk that made that comment, y'all have a happy Mother's Day.